Uh, uh, Notorious. Yo, it's inside the IFL. I'm joined with Mr. Ed Ritter.
What it is.
You have to excuse us for the late delay. Jumped on this to get it started here real quick. Both have a few things to do. Both of us are fat men eating some pizza. Both some fat guys eating some pizza at the same motherfucking time. For the late delay.
Hell yeah.
I don't know how many guys we got in the chat room. My screen's just saying waiting for some reason, but I see Chisholm, I see Cody, I see Matt. Welcome in, gentlemen. I
Welcome,
only know
everybody.
that because they chatted. That's the only reason why I know they're there. So
Mhm.
if you're up on there, gentlemen, let us know. Give me a shout, whatever. So got a few things here to cover today. Uh, the important stuff, which is the playoffs. Got two big games coming up next weekend. Um, I'm going to address the fantasy draft as well here on this, and I'm going to post about that on the chat. Goddamn job. But then everybody's going to, of course, want to know what's going on with what happened on Slack. Personally, I don't even want to dedicate any time to that bullshit, but something has to be known.
You
Like I
got to.
let guys know, whatever. Which is it's just fun, you know. I find it funny. I find it hilarious. I'm not even sweating it. Um, Not a big deal to me. You know, people are gonna come and go all the time. You know, it is what it is. So that being stated, where would you like to go first? Would you like to go with what really matters, or do you want to get the bullshit out the way first?
Let's get the bullshit out of the way first.
All right, get the
Because it
bullshit
is
out the way.
bullshit.
Ah, all right, real simple. I banned Alan Drum and I banned Alex Dar from the Slack yesterday. That didn't necessarily mean that I banned them from the league. Let's get that out there first. What you had was Alan, and, and I'm gonna before I even touch it, I'm gonna say this to everybody: all the shit you see him posting and saying to people, that's all lies. Trust me, it's all lies. He got his feelings hurt and his panties in a bunch. So instead of letting reality be reality, he's trying to play the super villain, like he didn't care and he's been malicious and vindictive and all this other shit. That's not true. This is just him trying to look like he's the tough guy, and it's fucking hilarious. So it's been Comedy Central. But anyway, Allen was showing a lot of dedication, a lot of love, and all this other shit for the league. But he was crossing the line, so to speak, to the point where he was almost acting like he was taking over. I'd have announcements to make. He'd go announce them for me. There was things I needed to mention to the league, so he'd mention it and not give me the chance to say it. I'd tell the league one thing, he'd go in there and try and tell them something different. And then when I say no, this is the case, he'd try to freaking manipulate it and say, no, this is what you said. I think I know what I'm saying. I think I know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
But
Sorry, I got my mouth full of pizza. I'm starving.
yeah, and my kids are bothering me. So anyway, so that is what that was. So I got to the point where it was just like, this is some shit, whatever. Well, then he says to me yesterday, I better ban Chris Davis because Chris Davis screwed the league over more than once now, more than twice now, going into some things. Um, I can never remember the guy's screen name or whatever. Um, but I think it was Bloodshine. He goes, you're letting him do what he did here. You're letting him do what he did there. And you said you didn't want drama this, you didn't want drama that. You're bending. You know, well, let's be clear on one thing. Davis did what Davis did last time when he just bailed on the league and didn't run the games with no warning. We talked about it as a league, and it was handled. This, I threw in the white towel and I don't give a shit. That pisses me off. He knows it. Many other people are pissed off. But I haven't addressed it yet with the owners in the league because I'm more focused on the league itself right now. If you want to just give up, your playoff spot was pretty much clinched. So I'm not removing you from the playoffs. And that was one of Allen's gripes. He demanded that they be banned from the playoffs. Giving up or not, he earned that spot. He did enough to get there by giving up.
It's true.
So I wasn't going to take it from the guy. So he was already in the playoffs. If he's already given up, he's not going to go anywhere. As far as I'm concerned, Baltimore's already in the championship game if he's given up because they're not going to beat Baltimore with a white flag hanging. So I figured, let's get through the season. Let's address the season. And if these owners and the members of this league are outspoken enough to where they're that angry with him and he needs to go, in their opinion, I'll address it then. I have more important things to worry about right now. This was something I had already explained to Alan when he was upset that I didn't get rid of him right away because it's not part of my agenda right now. And I don't know if it will be, so it is what it is. Then he talked about Bloodshine. Oh, you let him go over there and start this drama, this, that. First of all, I didn't let him do shit. He was a member of that league. And Bloodshine's exact words were, they treated him like shit, so he snapped. Well, gee, I've been down that road before, and so have many others. Getting walked on and treated like shit over in the SFL, and then you snap, and then you're the bad guy. And then, of course, you drag the IFL into it, whatever. And the way they talk shit on me, talk shit on Ed, talk shit on this league. Personally, I don't give a fuck anymore about that drama. If guys over here want to go there and be an asshole, I don't care because I deal with it enough. I get emails on a regular basis from that place talking shit. I'd rather not be that way. I'd rather not happen that way.
I think that's funny.
So it is what it is. Why do you find that funny?
Because they don't send nothing to me. And they know I'm friend and I, half owner of this league and run all this shit. But they send everything to you. I wonder why. Because they know what'll happen.
I mean, emails
they'll see the side of me they don't want to see.
The emails are short and sweet. IFL sucks, and that'll be all it says. SFL's better. That's all it'll say. The one that pisses me off the most is when they talk about the guys that are in both leagues. And that is, you got guys in both leagues, but they don't give a shit about your league. They're only there for pity. They're not going to, and we have guys in the SFL who are in line to win teams if they want them. They're not going to accept their team because they don't give a fuck about your league. And that's how the letter was sent. That's why, and I kind of mentioned it to Mighty when he said he wasn't interested in getting an ownership job. Of course, because of the email, my mind went to that. Is this true?
Oh, yeah.
I had no choice but to think that. Some of the shit that's sent to me and the way some of the things are done to me, they happen. They are what they are. And it's reality. Some of it's bugging, bunch of asinines being stupid. So, any case, tying this all into Allen, he was totally against the SFL, hating the SFL, this, that, and the other. Anyone that's anyone knows, if they're honest, the issues with Alan Drum and the SFL started with Damon Simeon. And I've mentioned this before. Damon publicly attacked Allen. This cannot be denied. Anybody wants to deny this, I will call you out on it and ask you why you're being a fucking liar. Damon attacked Allen in public. For whatever the reasons were, that was between those two. As a result of it, Allen jumped off the fucking deep end and went all after this dude. Quite frankly, I didn't give a fuck because Damon deserved to be attacked back. So I had Allen's back on that. I 100% agreed to that. Allen somehow saying I got him banned from the SFL. Anybody knows, Allen got himself banned for what he posted. But that also leads me to my situation. I believe I also got banned from the SFL as a reaction post to the same fucking dude. So, there's a common thing there. Him and I have a common ground. We have a bond, if you will. So for him to think I am against him, was after him, this, that, and the other, just fucking hilarious. And then for him to sit there and make the statement of, this has all been my plot. It's all been my evil game is to come in here and ruin this and ruin that. You know,
his words to me on the phone when he called me was, I hate Cam, but I will never, ever, ever forgive Doug for having me banned and having my team taken away from me. It's all his fault. I'm not an owner over there anymore. It's all Doug.
If I could get Cam on this show right now, Cam would say, he fucking had nothing to do with your banning, you dumb fuck. And Cam will tell you that.
Matt, you might want to try to refresh it then. Matt said he's having a problem, just can't hear a thing.
Yeah, I know. But Cam ain't going to listen to me how to run his own damn league. Like, really? Cam, I want you to ban him. He's not going to listen to me. He's like, fuck you, I own this place. So, and let's put it this way. This is Alan, again, trying to look at things both ways. You know, he'll say, I'm this, I'm that, Cam's this, Cam's that, but yet we fold for something that fits his agenda. Right. You know, Cam hates my guts, Cam's against me, this, that, and the other, but yet Cam will listen to me on who he should and shouldn't ban from his league. Can't have it both ways, which is fucking hilarious. Like I said, we got a couple guys in the chat room right now who are in both leagues, and they know for a fact if Cam bans you, Cam bans you, not me. And they can confirm that shit without even having to go ask the man. But yeah, that was all Cam. You know, but like I said, that was the reason why I went to Alan when I opened this league up, because I know Alan got banned from the SFL for his mouth as a fucking reaction to Damon being a vindictive prick. The same thing happened to me. You know, he said, Cody says, I don't think Alan is all there. So this could be an episode of his or something. There's no question about that. You know, there's no question about that. And Maurice, I'm supposed to say it a little louder for the people in the back.
Oh, shit. All right. I'm gonna, since I was where I'm always at, in the middle of everything. If he did this, which I know you believe without a shadow of a doubt that, you know, he did do one thing or two things, but he didn't do all of this he said he did.
Right.
But if he did, I'm kind of shocked, because I just didn't expect anything like that from him. But what really pissed me off out of all of it was what he called Alex, which really pissed me off. I'm sorry, but that word does not fly well with me, because I have a son who goes to a school of special needs kids. So I deal with special needs kids all the time. And for him to use that word towards Alex really pissed me off.
Yeah. And for those of you unaware, he called Alex a retard. That just doesn't fly, because special needs kids are not retards. So, and it was just an asinine thing.
And then the whole, I got my sleep. I mean, and it was supposed to be, I told my sheep. So he's like this big, you know, people listen to him. I don't see that either. I'm sorry.
Here's what I'm going to say.
I told my, oh, come on.
So, you and I had this conversation. I never put this out in public, but I'll put it out there now since it's all going to part of this shit. When someone came to me and said, now there's a support Doug in the SFL games, I immediately went to you and said, Alan's acting fucked up. Without a shadow of a doubt, I believe that was Alan being support Doug in the SFL. And when I made the mention, if you were in my league and you're over there doing that shit and I find out it's you, you're gone. Banned. I mean, there was no fucking ifs, ands, or buts. I was done with this person. I couldn't prove that it was Alan, but I believe without a shadow of a doubt that it was. So I left it alone. Now, if he was so evil, so vindictive, so I'm going to destroy this league, wouldn't he have continued to do it?
You would have thought.
But he didn't. He stopped because he cared. Then he got a whole ahead of himself, got this ego about himself, trying to run shit and take over, and got banned. Now all of a sudden he didn't care. He didn't this, he didn't that. So I'm just pointing out, support Doug disappeared. Then he's trying to make claim that he support Cam. I will bet my life that that's not him. He just wants us to believe that it's him, that he's that good. He's this, he's that. And we all know he's not all together. Therefore, he's not that smart to pull that off. So if anyone believes that he would support Cam, you're kidding yourself. You know, it's not him. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about him. I believe without a shadow of a doubt that it's someone from that league directly. You know, and clearly, I believe Allen had multiple accounts in the IFL because we had 100 and I think it was 12 subscribers. Now we're down to like 107, just like that. And I really can't see guys going, oh, yes, sir, Allen. Yes, sir. I'll do this for you, sir. Okay, I'll unfriend that. Okay, I'll block that, sir. Oh, I will unsubscribe, sir. No, his quote-unquote sheep. The only sheep he has are the ones he takes into his grandmom's basement and fucks. So,
oh man, why? You just had to go. Why? You just
why not?
You just can't help yourself.
I mean, his exact words to you was like being a cyber warrior. He's a vicious. He's a snake. He's vindictive. He's a snake. He's that. Who gives a shit what you think you are, Alan? You are fucking 20-some years old. You live in your fucking mom and grandmom's basements and shit. No fucking job having sucker. And you do fucking beer commercial ads on your page. Here's the Keystone Light, and here's this chew. Get a fucking job, dude.
Hold on. Actually, you're wrong. I think he's in his 30s.
Well, I don't give a shit where he's at. It's just crazy. And I don't want to attack the guy. I don't want to go after the guy and play that petty fucking game. But if he wants to try and quote unquote, I'm ruining the IFL. You didn't ruin shit, dude.
Oh, I told him. I told him when I talked to him on the phone. When he called me, said it was my plan from the get-go. And he says, and I've ruined it. I said, dude, you didn't ruin nothing. I said, nobody's leaving. Nobody's packing their bags. I said, only people that left us, was people that weren't there anyway. So that doesn't matter.
Maurice just said he turned 29 in February.
Okay, well, there you go. And then
quiet.
And then
sorry, that was Alan's wife.
And then to say he was the one that told Cody not to do our to announce the gains for us anymore. It was him behind all that.
I want to make sure everybody knows that's Cody Klein, Cody Prime, not Cody Ewing, since we had two Codys.
It's like
I don't believe that either. And here's what I'm going to say to Cody Klein, Cody Prime, whatever you want to call him. If Alan said that and he agreed to it, then he's a fucking sucker for listening to him.
Yeah. I honestly think somebody in the SFL got to him, but that's just my opinion.
I believe so too. But it's whatever.
And then, all right, I'm gonna bring up something else.
Mm-hmm.
Since Matt, if he's still listening or if he's in the chat, I am not mad at Matt. Doug is not mad at you, and I've said it again. I've said it through messages to him, and I'll say it here on the air. I am sorry that Alan brought you in to try to be part of his little petty crap, and now you're stuck in the situation you are.
I don't think he's stuck in anything, brother.
It's ridiculous.
That's how I look at it. He ain't stuck in nothing. He didn't do nothing. It is what it is. I know you told me he was.
I have no idea.
He's part of my master plan.
I have no idea what all he has. I think I know him and I talked one time, and I thought he said that they thought he had bipolar stuff and he had other issues. And so I have no idea what all he has. It's just, I don't know. I just, for him, like I said, for him to say, I did this, I did it, I'm a snake, I'm this, I'm that. Yeah. Okay. Sure. I'll give you the benefit of the doubt and say, sure, if you did it, you did it. But to call a person that has special needs, what he called them, is way below anything anybody could do, in my opinion, because I draw the line at that. Because like I said, I I'm around those type of kids all the time, and all those kids want is to be felt like they're normal. And for him to start doing that crap, that's bullshit.
All I know is I just hope that the people from Maiden or Claremont, like Bradley, Jackie, Johnny, Margaret, Rosie, they all get a hold of him. Just for those who don't understand, I just threw out a bunch of fucking names that are family members of his in some form and or fashion. And he has no fucking clue that I know him. Because if he wants to quote unquote play the I'm vicious and vindictive game, I know more things about him than he wants me to know. That's why I just threw out some random names. So when he listens to the playback, he'll sit there and say, "Oh shit, January 1940." Just know that I know that. But yeah,
I will say this, because when he was like I said, when we were talking, he's like, "Yeah, I'm a snake. You can't trust me." I told him. I said, I know a snake that I do trust. And this goes back from our EFN days. People called Doug a snake. So this is so you understand. And I told him, I said, Alan, you have nothing on this guy. I said, you do not want to go personal and go on a war with this guy. I said, you're not going to win.
I ain't worried about it. I ain't trying to be no cyber warrior with a fucking goofball like him.
And I just don't get it. What, and like Chris Davis posted, this is a video game. You got that upset and that personal over a video game.
I can't make too much light of that and laugh at that because Cam and I did the same shit. So I'm not gonna knock him for that one. Cam and I acted like a bunch of punk ass suckers doing the same shit over a video game. So
true, but at the same time, it's like but you guys didn't get. I mean, it's not.
Well, yeah, we did.
Neither one of you. Yeah, but he didn't, and you didn't plan to try to, So he says,
he didn't plan.
You guys were planning on trying to do this, and it was.
Here's what happened. Here's what happened. Like I said, Cam banned him. He was mad at Cam. He knew it was all about Cam. When the IFL came out, his exact words, "I told you that you shouldn't believe Scammer and Irvine," and that's right. He always called him Scammer and Irvine. He said you shouldn't have believed him. Let's bury his league. That's this. That's that. Da da da. First of all, I'm not out to bury anything. Second of all, I'm not out to ruin anything. And you know this for a fact, Dad. I told you when the IFL got started, it was going to be a place for people to play. And my exact words, and I've never sugarcoated this, was a place that they could play. And this is I'm taking this to lead into a segue of something else that he stated. And a league that's fair, unbiased. There's no bullshit. There's no worries about games being fixed or rigged or this, that, or the other. Okay? And I'm not out to ruin the SFL. Hopefully one day Cam and I can come to some sort of agreement, and then maybe one day our leagues could either play against each other in some, mixed league fun, or maybe one day merge. That was my exact words to you, if you remember that.
That's exactly what you told me.
And that was the goal. Now, I have an ego. Cam has an ego. We all have some sort of ego. That's clearly one of the things that's getting in the major way of any kind of peace between me and him. Plus, unlike him, he's never going on the air and taking any responsibility for anything. I do it all the time. Again, something that cannot be argued, that cannot be denied. I've gone on the air multiple times and given that league praise, given him praise. You've never heard that once from him about me or this league. Again, shows the character of the man. All right. And again, if you know the situation of how I got banned over there, you know who the asshole was. And it sure ain't the guy speaking right now. Cannot be denied if you're true to the story. And that's why I said Alan went through the same shit. So he wanted to ruin him this and ruin him. Dude, I want to have fun. Let's just have fun. Not worry about that place. So I tried to get him to that.
I can honestly say this more than once. Talking during the season, I want to destroy the SFL.
Oh, God.
I want it. I want to kill it. And I'm like, dude, relax.
Right. So when you take all that into consideration, there's no way in hell everything he stated was his goal. What happened was he kept getting ahead of himself. He didn't know his limits. And when he was told multiple times by you, mostly, because I just ignored him, back up, chill. You're acting like you're running shit. Stop. You're acting like taking control. I wasn't worried about it because I was just going to let him sink his own shit.
when everything started going down, this is what he called me, and I was talking to him, and I said, you know what? I'm saying this as your friend. I said, if you get pissed off and never speak to me again, I don't give a fuck. I said, but this is how it goes. I said, what you're doing, I said, I love the enthusiasm. Doug loves the enthusiasm.
No doubt.
But you don't know how to stop. I said, you step on toes. I said, you try to insert yourself into things you don't need to be inserting yourself in. I said, and then all this talk all the time about how you were taught by this guy and you were taught by, I said, you come off like an arrogant prick. I said, other guys are learning this stuff. They're, and I told him, I said, most people in this league have never heard of the guys you talk about all the time.
Right.
I said, so he didn't get it. He's like, well, and then he kept saying, wasn't trying to take over the league. And then he turns around and says he was trying to take over, trying to destroy the league. And
right. That's whatever. What I said. He went overboard way too many times. And when he sent me the message of, I'm not doing what I proclaimed I would do to avoid the drama, and I'm bending, and basically telling me I'm not doing what I need to do right. My natural reaction is to say, I'm not bending. Okay. I'm bending. Here's how I can prove to you I'm not bending. And I blocked his ass right from Slack. It didn't ban him. I just removed him. Right. Because I wanted to see what he would do.
And then, like I told Matt, when I spoke to Matt personally, I said, as far as Matt wanting to call the games and stuff like that, I said, the reason that we really never reached out to Matt was he didn't ask. It wasn't like, hey, can you try this? Can you do it? It was, he told us, this is who's going to call the games now. This is how it's going to be. I'm like, what?
There's Chisholm saying, during the last game when he was telling people the order of the draft, I was scratching my head like, what the fuck? Yeah. And that's part of what I'm talking about. The draft order wasn't decided, and it's not even needed to be released yet because this season's still going on. That, again, goes to our statement of his enthusiasm. He was trying to provide information to the league that I'm sure guys would like to see, but it wasn't needed. And, again, it was something minor, but as soon as both the games were over yesterday, I was going to write up on the page what the playoff games were. I didn't even get a chance to do it because he's posting it. That's not for him to do. Again, he was trying to help, greatly appreciated. But it looks better coming from the people in charge, not an owner. So like I said, I'm not going to knock him for it, but that's, again, the part of you're stepping on one too many toes. You're trying to take over. And it might sound petty, but it's the point. And it was that kind of shit. So like I said, I'm bending was his claim. Well, I showed him I wasn't bending by removing him from Slack. And I forget exactly what was said about something, but this goes into Alex. Alex Starr said something about something, and then I replied to him, and he was like, okay, asshole.
Something about we need to be more professional and all this. Guys, we're just,
it's
just
we need to be more professional. That's right. We need to be more professional. I said, if you don't like it, leave or something like that.
It's, you know what? And like I posted on Slack, I don't care about all the bells and whistles. I honestly don't give a shit if we never have a commentated game. I don't care. As long as the guys in this league are having fun and they're doing, they show up and watch games here and there, and they keep coming back and they're having fun. That's all I care about.
Right.
But they wanted this, they wanted that, they wanted to keep pushing this, pushing that. Guys, that's not us. That's not what this. No, we're not that other league. I don't want to be that other league.
We're the blue collar journeyman guys. What we are, And here's what I've said 1,000 times.
And then hold on before you go. And then I'll say this: when we had the discussion that we might go to Madden, and then people were like, I don't know this and that, and I'm almost certain Alan said, no, we shouldn't do that. We shouldn't do that. And then yesterday when we were talking, he says, we should have made the move to Madden. It would have been better. I'm like, wait a minute. I think you were one of the guys that said no.
Oh, well.
I like I said, I don't understand. I don't know where his mind is. That's the thing. If
sure
he is bipolar or whatever, maybe that's he's this one way and then I don't know. I just like, wow.
But yeah, like I was saying, to me, we're like the blue collar guy or whatever, so to speak. I have made it my goal, if you will, to prove that you don't need bells, whistles, graphics, highlight this, highlight that, anything else. What you need to have a successful, fun league like this is you do need to have a good group of guys. You need to have those good group of guys be active. You need to have them be interactive on wherever you're at. Like we're using Slack. So we need those guys to be active on Slack. We need those guys to be involved, show some involvement, some enthusiasm, you know, and then a solid build on a team, solid setups with their players and their abilities, the solid playbooks, then messing with the sliders and getting all that together. Something that I had countless conversations with Chris Davis over to where he said, okay, I'm going to dedicate some time to the sliders. Before the season started, he ran test after test, a lot of them live, messing with things,
Yes, he
getting
did.
people's feel for things, getting people's opinion on things. He put in a lot of time. And that's another reason why, if people want to sit there and say, oh, you don't have Chris Davis on a short leash. I have Chris Davis maybe on a longer leash than I should because of what he put into the league. And quite frankly, I've always said Chris Davis is another owner in this league. It's a little hard for an owner to tell another owner you're done. You know, even if I want to do it. Chris knows when he does something I don't like. I tell him. He knows I didn't like the you just bailed and didn't air games. He pissed me off with that, and I chewed him out for it. And Chris never said, oh, I didn't do it. He stood up and took that on the chin and said, I fucked up. He manned up to that.
Yes,
Never
he did.
once did he sugarcoat anything. I fucked up straight from it. You take that accountability and take that responsibility for it, I'll give you a pass because you deserve that for manning up. You know? Then he threw in the white towel. Wow. I get what he was saying. He basically saying, look, he's better than me. I can't beat him. Okay. Well, I don't agree with it. Okay. You know, whatever.
I'll
And
be
again,
right back.
an issue. All right, cool. An issue that was not addressed. But my point is, we have by far the best, in my opinion, on field sim game on the net. And now there's a lot of games out there that I haven't found. There's a lot of leagues out there that I don't even know exist. And when I find one, I'd be like, oh shit, they're better. But as of right now, all the leagues that I know that use simulation rules, like we're doing in the IFL, nobody's on field product is better. And I don't say that because I do this one. I firmly believe it. You know, in our league, it wasn't until later in the season guys were able to figure out how to run the ball and be very effective with it. But let's be honest, they're running the ball being very effective, but they don't have no passing game to back it up. You know, and I'm not going to knock the SFL for it, but I have to bring it up. Their on-field play isn't as realistic as ours, even though we're using the same game, because you got 1,000-yard rushers over there in like 2-3 weeks. That's not realistic. Now, it could be if that's all they're doing, but these are the same teams that are able to throw the ball like crazy as well. You know, and it's just like, and that's just not for me. But if you're in that league and it's fun, then that's all that matters. Enjoy it.
Mhm.
But for me, when we started this, we wanted as much realism as possible. That's why we tried to create all these rules. Players aging, players going to be this and that, and we were going to do legit trades. You can trade a player, and if he likes it, good. If he don't, oh well, sucks to be you, but that's where you're going. Just like in real football, you don't have the no trade clause in your contract over there with everybody. A select few have that right, and you don't see it much in the NFL.
Correct.
You know, I didn't like the idea of I own this team, and let's be honest, over in the SFL, you were paying $25 for your team, and you still couldn't run your team your way without someone else's $5 opinion. I don't want to go there. So now you were stuck keeping that player, if that's what they said, because their $5 opinion overrode your $25 team fee. And that's the truth. And I didn't like that idea. So trades are trades. When this season concludes, any player who's still under contract can be traded and can be moved. So when I say next season, that's another thing that was irritating me with Allen. It's this season. All he kept wanting to talk about was his combination of T-Pat and I'm forgetting his name.
I don't remember who it is, but yeah.
Lou Wolfpack. That's all he was trying to do. He was trying to be a combination of the two of those guys. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. That's why he wanted to be the Minneapolis Wolfpack. That's all he wanted to do. He was trying to do what Lou did on defense and what T-Pat did on offense. And
And I'll say this.
used the Mahler's
I'll say
playbook.
this too, since you brought. Yes, because he told me, he says, he said T-Pat basically gave me the playbook. Said, here, you can look at this, but don't ever share this with anybody. And he told me, he says, I'm not gonna lie. He said, as soon as he gave it to me, he said, I started sharing it with everybody. I said, why would you do that when a guy trusts you to give you what he's been working on all those years, in the SFL and doing his thing, and then ask you in confidence because he trusted you, say, please don't, and then turn around and start saying, hey, let's do this to everybody.
Well, I can tell you why.
Who are you?
I can tell you why he did that. I know why he did that. You ready?
Okay.
He wanted other teams to have the playbook T-Pat was using. Now, T-Pat was very, very good in the SFL. This was Allen's way of proving games were fixed and games were rigged by letting other teams run the exact same offense and for some reason not being nowhere near as effective. That's where he was going with that.
Okay. And since you brought that word up, rigged, he called your character into question because your guy happens to be on Arizona, and he swears up and down you fixed Arizona games so they be as good as they are. And he also thinks you screwed up other team stuff on purpose.
Now, let's be honest. If this guy's so vicious, so vindictive, so he don't care, wouldn't he call me out on that? Yes.
You would think.
Right. There's no question he would call me out on it. What happened was he got his panties in a bunch, and now he's again trying to act like a tough guy, so he's grasping at straws, this, that, and the other. But it is funny he mentions anything about Arizona, and I know he said, oh, you fixed your buddy's games. Damn, I'm good then. And he spelled his name wrong, too. He spelled it E-R. It's A-R-I-C. But anyway, yes, it's a unique spelling. But I even said to you, how many weeks ago, it is bothering the shit out of me that Arizona is this good, and that happens to be the team my player plays on.
I've said it all year long.
Because I was afraid of someone going there if they didn't get their way. I did indeed say this. That's why I said to you, next season, my player will not exist on the field because I'm going to retire him probably. Just to avoid that.
Yep, you have told me that several times now. Yeah. And I've even told you, are you sure that's what you want to do?
And I said, yeah, because I'm doing my goal to make sure this league doesn't have any fears of bias, favoritism, rigging, fixing, this, that, and the other. Because I can give you a laundry list of shit other places that when you look at it, if you're a smart person, you're like, yep. But if you're a biased prick or just can't admit truths, you'll deny it. I mean, things are what they are. It's the reality of the game, and I'm trying to avoid that here. So yeah, one of my real life best friends is in my league and he goes 13-1. My player's on his team. Doesn't look good. That bothered me, but it is what it is. The guy earned it. And if I'm quote unquote fixing games, I'm real good at fixing games, knowing that I'm allowing him to win how many different games by less than a score? That's pretty good rigging if that's what he's proclaiming I did.
Right.
So it's whatever. And then I know there was a mention of, look how many yards his running backs get. Yeah, but the team's only throwing for like 60 fucking yards at the same time. It's not like he's running the ball like crazy and still throwing it. He's only able to move the ball one goddamn way. But at no point did he want to say I'm doing the same thing for Philadelphia when they're the exact same type of offense. That's where, again, he's just grasping at straws trying to act like a tough guy for whatever reason. I mean, shit. I don't know. I mean, he can have my address, 539 Greenland here in Lancaster. He can come visit me anytime he wants, but I'm not quite sure if he'll make it home in time for the curfew his grandmother's giving him.
Ouch. Ouch.
So, You know, it is what it is.
Did you really just go there? Did you really?
What?
I'm sorry. That's just too funny.
Yeah. But like I said, I never banned him. I removed him from Slack. I never banned Alan or Alex. I removed him from Slack. Just wanted to see their reactions. Right away, we seen what Alan's done. I haven't seen or heard anything from Alex. You know, but Alex got banned for pretty much following Alan's lead, which because of Alex's issues, he has a tendency to follow people and jump, the gun on things and this, that, and the other, and we know that.
Oh, I know all too well how that goes.
But when he said, "You asshole," I was like, okay, I'm removing you from Slack for right now. Just to see what he said. Now, I haven't heard from him. Whatever. I don't know if anybody wants to reach out to the kid and say, hey, look, this is why he removed you from Slack. You acted like a jerk. You called him an asshole. How are you going to call the guy running the show an asshole because he doesn't want to use Madden? I don't care. Cody Ewing is in the chat, and he'll have a field day with this one. Graphic-wise, nothing can touch Madden. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. And all this, it's a 10-year-old game. Oh, so 10-year-old. In 10 years, Madden still hasn't caught up to the fucking gameplay of All Pro.
This is true.
That's the facts. True. That's just the facts. And that's why, when I sit here and I actually look up Madden versus All Pro and check things out, 99%, and this is no bullshit, 99% of people who were in the NFL, played the NFL, were on teams, will tell you gameplay on All Pro is by far superior than Madden. But Madden is by far superior when it comes to the graphics and all the quote-unquote bells and whistles.
Yep.
So that's why I always had the running joke in my head. Madden is the SFL, All Pro Football is the IFL. I always had that running joke in my head because Madden comes with all the bells and whistles and all the hoopla and this, that, and the other, and all the extra features that All Pro just don't provide and whatever. But when it comes to the overall product, I'll go with Madden. I won't deny that. The overall product as a whole, I'm going Madden. The gameplay itself, I go All Pro Football. No question about it. I think you would agree with that.
Oh, I agree with that.
If I'm sitting down and I want to actually turn on the game, play the game, I'd prefer to play Madden as opposed to All Pro Football. I won't deny this. Actually playing the game. Just because a lot of people can't play All Pro Football because they're not good at football. If you put on an All Pro Football game and legitimately go and put your controller to pick a team and your buddy picks a team, if you don't know what the hell you're doing, you're going to suck. In Madden, if you just know the basics, you're going to score points. It's just the reality of it. And that's why I say Madden is not better than All Pro Football when it comes to the important stuff. But I can't do a dynasty. I can't do an online league like you used to. They used to provide it, but the servers and stuff aren't up or whatever. And you can't, it's only one season and done. So that's why I said the overall product by far, Madden is superior. No question. On field, no. And I just get frustrated that people try to still say Madden gameplay is better. Madden gameplay is not better. I've seen some Madden 18 videos already and had watched people play it. The blocking still ain't good. It's still not good. They don't get to the second level like they should. The routes aren't like they should. There's a lot that I can say aren't like they should in a Madden game that just don't compare. And that a game that was 10 years old had already achieved those goals. At 2K kept at it, they might have buried Madden. And if people want to deny that, they can, but I think they're just foolish.
Oh, that's fact. Why do you think EA went out and got this, all the rights to the NFL?
Right. And that was because they knew.
Right, because they knew. They knew what was going to happen.
Exactly. Yep. They were fully aware. Mighty's in the house. Can't stay. He's chilling with mom. Give mom a hug for me. Wait a minute. Might be crossing the line. I might be Alan. Never mind. I'll just go. Never mind. I'll just go hug a sheep. Any case.
Oh my.
All right.
Sorry, folks.
Yeah, well, it is
It
what
is what it is.
But to get off this whole freaking chat with this Allen deal, long story
Let's get
short,
into the
gentlemen,
playoffs, damn it.
long story short, he was dedicated to this league, wanted this league to succeed, was overstepping his grounds, trying in a way to take over, whether he realized that he was doing it or not, to where I had to put him on a little timeout and just took him off of slack because he was just getting on my nerves, to where all of a sudden he's vindictive and it was his master plan to kill this and to kill that. And he was this guy and he was it's all a crock of shit. It was his way of trying to say he was better than everybody else. I believe without a shadow of a doubt he was the support Doug character. And that's why when I said, whoever it was, you do it again, you're banned. But he was so about ruining this league, he didn't continue to do it. And that's how you ruin this league. You continue to be support Doug and act like an asshole and give this league a bad image. And that comment alone proves he wasn't out of doubt doing what he tries to proclaim he was out to do. Because it's the truth. If he was trying to ruin this league, he'd have continued being that character. But he didn't do it.
You know, as far as you said about him overstepping his bounds and trying to take over, the biggest thing that really got me was when you were having your bad week and you were, you know, posting there, I don't know if we're going to have a second season. Is it worth it? And he had to put in big, bold letters, there will be a second season. Dude, that was not your that was not your decision. And like I told him, I said, if Doug decides after this season it's done, it's not worth it, then he does. I said, if you want a league, you got to start your own. I said, you don't get anything that says IFL on it. You don't get this. You don't nothing. I said, you got to start from scratch.
Right.
And I don't know what he said because his phone kind of, you know, when you call him on his phone, his phone kind of, yeah. And he blah blah blah, and then he disciplined. I don't know what he said, but I'm like, whatever, dude.
Yeah.
You know, and I've told him more than once, you know, you don't talk to people like they're beneath you because, you know, we're not beneath you. Just because you think you were taught by the almighty God himself in this game. I'm sorry, but what worked over in that league is not working over here, and it's been proven. It's been proven all season long. So, whatever. And I can tell you this, and I'll say it, and I don't give a shit if he hears it. I told my son after all this went down that he was banned. And you want to know, my son got the biggest smile on his face.
Man.
So what's that tell you? That's from a 10-year-old.
Man. Well, like I said, if he was out to be ruining of the league as he proclaims, he'd have continued to be the so-called sport Doug. It's an end of discussion with that. And like I said, Alex got banned from the Slack. It wasn't really a banning; it was a removal, just because he wanted to, you know, fuck you, asshole, basically.
Yeah, to start calling you a-hole and
And like I said, that was part of him buying into everything Allen was selling at the time. And it was just said in the chat, and just goes to show where his mind is. Chisholm says it. Alex was in the SFL chat yesterday talking to Andy, but yet Alec would go on and on and on and on and on and on about how horrible everybody over there is, how that league sucks, how even Andy directly, he's informed me more than once, is a big worthless piece of crap, this, that, and the other. But as soon as I remove him from Slack, he's over there as if they're his good buddies, which just goes to show he does have medical issues and the kid don't think right. But that's why I said I removed him just for his comment. I didn't ban him. I removed Allen for trying to take over. Didn't ban him. I knew Allen was going to hang himself once I banned him or removed him. So, long story short, I didn't ban anybody, gentlemen. Alex is not banned, and Allen was not banned. Allen's clearly not going to come back.
Oh, yeah, he keeps telling me, I won't be back. I won't be back.
And I don't
give a shit.
And I don't think anybody wants him back, or his probably alternate hidden accounts. You know, I believe he had.
Oh, I told him that. I told him that. I said, I'll tell you right now. I said, I believe without a shadow of a doubt you have more than one account.
Yeah.
And he goes, oh, I've never done that. I said, yeah. I said, you can say it, but I honestly believe that you did.
I believe he did. I don't know who would be
all his sheep.
Right. That's why when you mentioned to me, all my sheep are going to leave. Well, who are your sheep? Because there's never really been much reference of who your buddies are and aren't. I know I like there's a few people that I know he said he brought into the game, like Fulmer, and the whatever brothers, but there's only like a list of 3, 4 people that I know of that he apparently brought into the league. They're all going to follow you out because what? They're not men and can't think for themselves. Okay, if that's the way they are, nobody wants them in their league anyway. Not just here, but any league wouldn't want them.
Well, I can say this: he might be able to convince the Fulmer kids because they are kids. I think they're the same age as my sons because I've seen their videos on YouTube. They're just kids. So, yeah, you're a real big shot manipulating kids.
Yeah. But anyway, let's get to what really matters here today: playoffs. Ed and I didn't have the time to break down too much because we just didn't have the opportunity to do it.
Right.
Look for an episode. Cody says he's agreeing. Yeah. The fact that he's always with his grandma weirds me out. But
dude,
I'm going to get to what matters. Like I said, a lot of stuff was going on since the game. Ed and I really didn't get the opportunity to break down things a lot. So we plan on doing another episode of Inside the IFL this week. Time and date to be determined. It could be tomorrow. It could be the day after. I don't know. But we really want to get into details of everything, really break things down, really give it a full-fledged, everything you can think of that you would want to see on a game preview. That's what we want to do. We want to provide that, and that's going to get provided. It's just a matter of what day we're going to do it.
Yeah, and this week should be good because all the kids should go to school. Knock on wood. My oldest daughter, who had graduated, just got a new job, so she'll be going to her job. So I'll be here all by myself.
Right. So, the first thing people are going to ask me, and they're going to ask it, am I calling games? That's what some people are going to ask right away. Am I calling games? I am honestly hoping to call the playoff games. I'm really hoping I can. But I don't know if I can. Again, it all comes up to time and schedule, this, that, and the other. Now, if I could get the games to load after I record them, I could guarantee you that that's what would happen. But at the same time, I'd much rather prefer the games be live.
Right.
So,
and then speaking of that, Davis did post that in Slack that he appreciate how you were doing what you're doing because he can't do stuff live. He already said it. He posted on it. He still can't run stuff live. He can record it and then run it, no problem. He said, but he can't do the live like you've been doing.
Yeah. So I mean, that's my goal. Now, you and I discussed when games are and aren't going to be, this, that, and the other. The times are to be determined, but we can tell everybody now both playoff games will be Saturday. There will be no Friday game. The early projection is we might go with like a classic NFL type time slot, a game at 1, one at 4. That might be what we're doing, or it could be 12 and 3. Chances are it's going to be within that time window, that time frame, but both games will be on Saturday. And like I said, I got to figure out what the wife's schedule is because I would love to be able to sit here, pop in the microphone that I'm using right now. Everybody hears me fine on Inside the IFLs and get on there and call the game. Well, games. That's the goal. One way or the other, I'm hoping to call the championship game no matter what. Even if I got to tell my wife, here's your phone. Here's Netflix. Go in the room, sweetie. Yeah. But,
I'm sorry because I've known you too long for that to go over well.
Shit. But so yeah, we're hoping for that. Now, I want to make this mention to Boston, Arizona, Philadelphia, and Baltimore. I want all 4 teams to please send me their entire playbook. I want to double check, make sure I don't have any errors anywhere, any mistakes anywhere, anything missing, anything still there that shouldn't be. Whatever you can think of that would make your playbook not 100% accurate, to make sure it's right. And what you send me, I'm going to compare to what I have within the game to make sure it's clean, it's fresh, it's legit, it's ready to go, and there's no errors. Last thing I want to do is have one or two mistakes in a playbook be the reason somebody wins or loses. That would suck. So I want to double check that and get that in place. So if you're an owner of one of those sport teams and you feel that's something you want to do, by all means, send me that way. Everything ASAP. I'm going to give the 4 playoff teams until the end of Tuesday night to submit their playbooks. I'm going to give them an extra 24 hours. Normally, I want them Monday night. I'm giving everybody till the end of Tuesday night to make any changes. It is the playoffs. You deserve the extra day to win or lose. do your due diligence, do your thing. So let's get into these 2 games, if you will. You've got the 4th seeded somehow making the playoffs, the Boston Liberty, who ended up 7-7 on the season, getting in, and they are going to play the 13-1 Arizona Outlaws. Now, again, we'll have more details on these games, but we're going to really break them down sometime later this week. But just based off what we have off the top of our head, what is your thought on this one, Ed?
All year long, I've said Arizona was the team to beat.
Yes.
After watching what I've watched over the last, 3 or 4 weeks, I believe Boston can now beat Arizona.
Okay.
Boston has won, 4 in a row?
Yes.
They are on a roll. That defense is looking awesome like it has all year long. And now Marcus has that offense starting to click. I think Arizona's in trouble. Because I believe without a shadow of a doubt, Boston's a better team than Tampa Bay. And Tampa Bay pushed Arizona to the limits.
Yes, they did. That was a very good game.
I think Boston just could pull it off. Boston could shock the world.
Could you imagine? Could you imagine that happens? That would just be like, what?
And honestly, I hope it does.
You hope it does.
I am pulling for Boston because I was one of the guys that gave them shit early on in the year. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah,
but
most people did.
At the same time, I also gave Bo Davis his credit because that guy went out and told us all, this is what I'm doing. Beat me if you can. People have beat him, but at the same time, he then realized, well, just not quite working. He went out and got your son, who is got that offense clicking. And I think if they would have got that offense going sooner, they'd have more wins than they do.
Possibility. Definitely a possibility. Yeah, and I want to give my son credit, like you said, as well, because he could have came to me and said, hey, Dad, can you help me out and give me a playbook? And I have the T-Pat playbook. I could have been like, here you go. But he never once suggested it, asked for it, anything, because he wanted to learn it on his own. And I asked myself, could I have done that with that offense? Because I believe I'm a better offensive person in this game than I would be defensively. I don't know if I could have done that. I really don't.
Alrighty.
So you're saying?
Yeah, I know I couldn't because I'm not that great at. I'm not that great at offense. Give me defense. I can make a defense work, no doubt about it. Offense, new. And I'm like I said, I'm very, very impressed with what Marcus has done with that offense.
Now, How you just said you think they can win. My question is, are you picking them to win?
You know what? I'm going to. I'm going to pick them to win. I'm going to pick them to upset the best team in the league. And then when they do win, then either you or I am making a call to North Carolina and telling him to kiss somebody's ass.
Jesus Christ. As we speak, I'm putting up the pick 'em, so guys can go on in and pick these games and who they think is going to win. So you're actually going to take the liberty in this one.
Yes, as soon as the pick'ems are up and I can get on, and yep, I will vote Boston.
That game's already up, and I'm just finishing up doing the other one right now.
As soon as I can get over there, I will. Yep, I will. Yep, no doubt about it. I am taking Boston.
The pick'em is up. If anybody wants to get in there and pick, so you're picking Boston. If Boston wins this game, how are they going to have to do it? What do you think?
Just keep doing what they've been doing.
Which is?
The defense got to keep playing like they're playing.
Yeah, no question.
Because their defense, if you've noticed, they're starting to shut the run down. And what does Arizona do most?
Run the ball right now.
They run the ball. If they start stopping that run and they force Arizona to pass, that defense is going to have a field day. Going to have a field day.
All right.
You know, I just –
yeah, I want to see if we get any.
I don't know what it is. That defense, like I said, all of a sudden that defense is starting to stop the run. No, I mean, it's actually getting a little scary. It's like, holy crap, where did this come from? Because we said it all year long. That was the key to beat that team, was to run on them. Now they're stopping the run and stopping the pass. And Marcus has got the offense clicking and they're scoring.
Yeah,
they're on a roll. They're on a. What do all professional teams always say? Doesn't matter how you do it to get there. Once you're in the playoffs is when you have to start. You have to get on your roll and go from there. And they're on that roll. They have started. So they might be the scariest team in the playoffs right now. And I'm sure, we're going to hear the other owners from the other two, blah, 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 blah. But, the one owner, I'm not taking anything, listening to anything he says because he quit. So no matter what he says, he doesn't matter. He quit.
Right.
The other guy, I have respect for. So if he says there's no way, then, maybe take that with a grain of salt. But
yeah,
that's my opinion on it. All right. Yeah. So now let's get your take on it. Hey, everybody has mine. Now it's your turn.
Well, before I go into it, if anybody's in the chat wants to throw out their opinions, thoughts, please do so. We'll share them. As far as this game goes, here's my thing. Arizona's been the most complete team. Both sides of the ball. They've had the offense to complement the defense, something Boston hasn't had, something that looks like Boston now has. Arizona's offense has been more consistent from jump, obviously, than Boston. These two teams, I got to get the exact totals and everything. Like I said, we got to get this all added up. I believe both these defense ended up in the top 5 overall, maybe even top 3 overall defenses in the league. So this is going to be a very good defensive battle. The one thing we do know is Arizona has an offense. They've had one all season. Can Boston's offense continue? We've seen Marcus, their offensive coordinator, produce a solid offense. Then the next week, it's like, where'd they go? That has happened. But now during this couple-week stretch, they've been a lot more consistent. A lot more consistent. But now they're running into what a lot of people call the best team in the league. Again, it's going to be remains to be seen. And we're now It's like a whole new season. It's playoffs. You know, the two more wins, you win. For Boston to be the champions, they're going to have to run a 6 straight wins. 6 straight wins to become champions in this league. You know, and they only won 7 all season. So that means they're going to win more than half their games here down the stretch, which would be an amazing feat. So when I look at this game and break it down, like you said, one thing Boston's good at is stopping the run. The one thing Arizona's good at is stopping an offense. Now, I also believe Boston has one of the better secondaries, if not the best secondary to play against, because they got the 2 gold corners. I don't think Arizona's going to have to worry about them because they don't throw the ball too much. So their 2 gold players might become irrelevant in this game. So when you look at the gold players on Arizona, they got a strong safety and a tailback. That tailback is going to be utilized, and that strong safety will help in the running game. He'll roll out there and deal with the passing game. Plus, he's also their return man. So the 2 key pieces to any team are your gold players, and Arizona's are going to get action, and a lot of it, Boston's might not. And as a result,
Boston's gold corner will, because he's their return guy too, and we've seen him return how many kickoffs this year.
Yeah, both these return guys have Bo Davis and Tank Tatum. Both have returns for touchdowns, and I think both of them have a couple. So, you know, let's just say this. Let's say Boston's in this game where it's shocking. This game might come down to one of those 2 returning a kick.
Wouldn't that be something? That'd be great. That would be awesome.
Chisholm says Zona has a day walker at quarterback. They won't lose. But yeah, this game's going to be. It's going to be good. I think it's going to be interesting. I think Boston's going to keep it tight, close, and all that early. But I do believe skin tone is crazy. But I do feel late in the 4th quarter, the running game is just going to be too much for Boston, and they're going to think they're going to get worn down, and it'll be enough for Arizona to pull away down in the final quarter. But that's been Arizona's forte a lot this season. Big battles, first, second, third quarter, and then in the 4th quarter, they seem to pull away from teams, if you haven't noticed this.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they wear teams out. So if you can come up with a game plan to make sure your defense doesn't wear out, I don't know if this is possible. You know, anything could be possible in this game. But if you can figure that out, you just might be able to beat them. So
I will say this: when Boston, and I'm saying it since I'm picking them, when they beat Arizona, I will be the first one in line to apologize to Bo Davis and to Marcus Bose for ever doubting that they could ever get that team going. Because all year long we have ripped, all of us have ripped into that team. Oh, that's terrible. You can't go all bronze. You can't do this. You can't do that. They've won 4 in a row and they're proving us all wrong right now. They're in the playoffs.
Yes.
Because at one point, everybody said there's no way in hell they were getting into playoffs. Guess what? They're in the playoffs.
I will mention this. Removing my votes to get the emojis up for guys to vote. It's currently 2-0 Arizona in the voting already early. So then we'll put that out there. So it looks like DW6 Keller and Maurice Spurgeon have both gone with the Outlaws so far on the pick 'em. So obviously it's early. Those votes will start coming and going up.
Arizona's going to get the votes.
Sure. I mean, they're going to be the odds on.
No one's going to vote. No one's going. I might be the only one that votes against them.
No, that's the thing. It's going to be, and this is where it's going to be like in real sports. There's that team that's unbeatable, and then here's that team up. Do they have a shot? And then people vote for the have a shot team just so they can stand there and say, "I told you so."
And what have you told me all year long? I've argued with you, but you've told me all year long. Anybody can beat anybody.
Yes, indeed. And that's why I love. That's why when Stevie himself went on the air and said, or on Slack, we've been more lucky than good. I thought that was a very humble comment because they've had 5, 6, 7 games though they were won by a touchdown or less, and then they lost that one game. I think on the last episode I said they were undefeated, so I wanted to correct that on this one. They did lose that one, 24-23. So they were either 4-1, 5-1, or maybe 6-1 in games all separated by a touchdown. And I'm not even talking extra point. I'm talking 6 points or less. You've got to be lucky to get that to bounce your way just to get that. And that's why I thought it was very humble that he made that comment, because all of those games could have easily been the other way. Now, let's just say all of them could have been the other way. Okay, they still finished second in the league at 8-6. As opposed to 13-1. But that makes them still the second best record in the league, which proves, okay, they are good enough to be where they're at. But I still think there was some luck involved, and even their own owner felt that.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I think it's going to be a good one. I think it'll be better than people think.
Cody just posted, are we going to have a pick'em winner for the year? I would probably say no, because I didn't write any of that stuff down. Who picked it right and who didn't?
No, I didn't. The pick'em's mostly just been for inside the IFL podcast, where we can just say who's the favorite. But it is something I would consider doing next season if we really wanted to do a pick'em and have guys get involved. And I did make a mention before that I was thinking about if I could come up with the funds of having a pick'em winner, and then they get 10, 15, $20 or something as a prize. I was really considering doing that. I was honestly thinking about getting a small trophy made for our champion. I really was. Because I have the Lancaster Trophy House here, who I've used before. That I think they do great work and they do decent trophies. I can get a nice thing at the
no.
Hey,
sorry, I hate to interrupt you there, but no, Cody, we're not going to say you won.
We get a billboard trophy at the Frank's Trophy House. I think I can get one made for about $20, $25. And I won't ever ask anybody for funds and chip in and help me pay for things. If I want to do it, I should do it myself. But it's something I was honestly considering doing. And then it's getting the thing where I need to get it to send it out in the mail and whatever. And one idea I would love to do is create, quote unquote, a traveling trophy, but you never know, whoever wins it, they send it back. So no.
Right.
So I'll never do the traveling trophy idea. And since I'm big in wrestling, I wish I was rich, because I'd have somebody have a championship belt made with the IFL logo as the center plate.
That would be cool.
So, I have all kinds of things I'd love to do, but I can't do. Just because I'm not involved with the funds enough to pull things off.
Yeah, I know how that goes.
Cody said, damn, since he can't win.
That's right.
But
and I'll say this. Another reason he's not the winner is because he's a Madden fan. No, I'm just playing.
All right. But if you or anyone else in the chat has anything else they want to add to this particular game, I'm going to give it a minute, just see if anybody has any more comments for the chat, and if you have anything else you want to say.
Nope.
If not, we'll end up getting on to the second game.
I'm good. So if anybody else wants to say anything. But yeah. Alrighty.
Give it a minute and see if anybody says anything, like predictions. He said this IFL podcast is biased. Oh, shit. All right, well, if anybody has anything to say about Arizona Boston, I'll come back to it. But we're going to move on to 7-7 Philadelphia at 9-4. Or I'm sorry, 10-4 Baltimore Bulls. What is your thoughts on this particular game? And I know you're going to end up being brutally honest, so have at it.
I'm going to say the same thing I said for the last game. If Philly wins this game, it's a fucking travesty. Because their owner quit. As far as I'm concerned, he's a quitter. And, if you don't like it, so what? I'll call him out on it. what he did was what we used to refer as a bitch move. And honestly, I don't think that was fair to the league. I don't think that's fair to the guys in the playoffs. And if they somehow would pull it out and beat Baltimore, yeah, that's going to be fucked up.
Okay.
Because there's no way in hell that a team where their owner quit deserves to be in a championship game.
Mm-hmm.
They just don't. And I know you said, well, they earned enough to get there. Maybe, maybe not. I'm not 100% convinced of that.
Mm-hmm.
So that I think Baltimore's going to win. I think they're going to beat them by at least 2 scores, maybe more. And I think that's how it should be.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure there's more owners and more people in the league that feel the same way. Because I'm sorry, but that's fucked up. Just because you were swept by this team or swept by that team, and then I saw the writing on the wall. There's nothing. You still gotta try. Still try. You know. And I saw what Bo Davis posted on there about how, he gave up on his team and gave up on it. And then Chris comes back with, well, they respectfully said this. Well, I can tell you right now, they may have respectfully said it. Doesn't mean they fucking agreed with it. Because your own damn quarterback was on our show last night and bitched about it and said it was bullshit and he was pissed because you quit. So, yeah, I'm sorry. I look at it this way. If I'm a rookie coming into this league and I hear this about, would you really want to go play for that owner? Mm-hmm. Really? I wouldn't.
No.
Because what's the chances of, things not go right and then you say, oh, shit, I'm done. It could happen again.
Right.
And we've said it all year long. Look at Tampa Bay. They could have thrown in the towel. They kept trying. New York could have thrown in the towel. They tried.
Wasn't Boston 1-4 at one time?
Boston was probably, yeah. They didn't quit.
Right. And here's the one thing I said. Philadelphia could be a better team now than they were a couple weeks ago when he gave up by just making more and more tweaks. And I think Mighty and Chisholm were 2 of the most animate guys, I think, with the 2 most animate talking to him about saying the same thing. Keep making adjustments week after week after week. The more adjustments you make, the better you're going to be from the previous week. So by the time you might make it into the playoffs, you'd be fine. I can say this. When he was trying, his team ended up 7-7. But when he was trying, this team would not be 7-7. This team very well could have maybe been the number 2 seed.
Because when he got pissed and he started doing stuff and changing stuff, that team was coming on. And we were all saying it. We were all going, oh, my God, you need to worry about this team.
Right.
And then I don't know what happened. And all of a sudden he said, yep, that's done. Hell with it.
It was when he lost. It was when he lost to Arizona. It was that game that he even said it right there on Slack. I lost to Arizona, and when I lost to Arizona, I knew I wasn't going to win. I knew I wasn't going. Here's the thing. Let's just assume his statements. Let's just assume his statement's correct. He knows he's not going to beat Arizona. Let's just say he runs into Arizona 10 times, he loses 10 times. That doesn't mean one of the other 2 teams that make the playoffs ain't going to beat Arizona, and then you get to play them. So that's the thing that bothered me. It's like, you're down because you think you're not going to beat Arizona. That doesn't mean somebody else can't. And that was just like, okay. And it just is like, all right, buddy, whatever.
And then lately he's been on the same thing. I hate to throw him in with Allen, but at the same time, that's all you hear him talk about anymore now. I'm getting ready for the next season. Yeah, that's because you threw the towel in this year and said, fuck your team.
And just to touch on it, that was in week 8. Let's point this out. He lost to Arizona in week 8. And you know what the final score was that night?
I don't remember. I thought it was close.
It was 24-20. That means a play, maybe a drive, something small, something minor. It goes different in one direction or another, or whatever the case may be. He could have won that game. You know, I mean, let's be serious. He's a possibility he could have won that game. You know, and Arizona beat Boston in week 9, 27-10. Well, let's see. This is a great comparison. Philadelphia in week 8 loses 24-20. In week 9, Boston loses 27-10. If someone's going to throw in the towel at that point, you would assume it'd be Boston. They lost by 17. But it was in week 10. In week 10, Boston came back and went on their 4-game winning streak. They took that loss to Arizona and said, screw y'all, we ain't losing again. And that's what they did. Just putting that out there.
And I'll say now, if anybody hears me, here in the chat, if I'm bringing a little too brutal or too whatever, let me know. And I'll back off a little bit, but I'm sorry. I am an old school guy. I'm 40 some years old, and I believe when you start something, you should finish it and don't quit, don't give up. And, especially when there's guys on your team that you brought into your team. And at first you had them signed up for however many years. And then when we gave you the option to change, then you changed them all to 1 year because you freaked out. I'm sorry, but you still gave up on those guys. In my opinion, you gave up on them. They didn't give up on you. You gave up on them.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, but as a rookie coming in this league, there's no way in hell I would want to play for that guy. No way. Nope.
Like I said,
I would do.
I get it. Like I said, I'm just hoping. I'm going to chalk it up to a first-year owner that got scared, got nervous, wasn't sure how to react, and he took a decision most of us wouldn't do, and whatever. And I do have to be honest. He himself personally said that he had a lot of things coming up. Blah blah blah. I'm not going to get into it. That's his business. So part of me is wondering if that also played into it, where he knew he wasn't going to have the time to dedicate like he'd prefer. So he just said, "The hell with it. I'll throw in the towel now." I have no idea. I can't fully speak for him, but I do question maybe that had something to do with it.
Then if that was the case, that changes things a little, but not much. You still threw in the towel. But if
right.
it's. I'm sorry. I don't get it. It's like. If you get into a fantasy league, where I've been in many fantasy leagues where guys show up the first day, do the drink, and you never see them the rest of the year.
Yeah, I hate guys like that.
Oh, it's like, come on. Really? Because he was trying. He was trying up until that point, and then that's when he just said,
Long story short, I'll say it right here. I'll say it right now. In week 8, when he lost 24-20, I said this to you straight up, and you can confirm this right here on the air. He is a few adjustments away himself of being the team to beat.
Yes, you did. We had that conversation.
Because he was in that game, and I thought he was going to win that game, and I'm like, I could see a small few things Philadelphia could do, and he would be the team to beat that. Where right now, if he'd have tried the rest of the season, and he made those a couple adjustments I thought that I seen. Now, I'm no expert. But I would see him being the favorite in the playoffs, even over Arizona. But
and like you said, first year owner, maybe with that in combination of whatever was going on, maybe it did all just get to him, and he just said, "I can't. I had enough. I just gotta."
Yeah, like I said, first year owner, fears and oh shit. And he jumped to a conclusion. That's what I said. I didn't want to take too much into it. He knows I was displeased with his decision. He knows that. He knows the league is displeased with it. I think he respects that people were against it. But at the same time, he's hoping guys respect his opinion. But that's where I kind of told him, guys aren't going to respect that. You have people
not that.
You have people on that team who wanted to win, and you threw in the towel. Now you've made the playoffs. Now you have a chance to fix it. Let's see if he makes changes this week. Let's see if he says, all right, you know what? We made the playoffs, and maybe I need to just step back and say, shit, I'm here. Let me go take advantage of this opportunity and see if I can take out Baltimore. And I hope that's what he does. So but we'll see.
I don't see it because, like I said, that's all he keeps posting out. He's focused on next. He's making change. He's ready for next season. He's already moved on this season. As far as he's concerned, is done. He's moving
next season, so you know. I will be addressing next season here as well because I know Cody Ewing was supposed to be joining Philadelphia. Now, one thing that went through my mind, and I don't know if Cody's still listening because I know he's a busy guy and he's probably working while he's listening to this. If I know Cody, he's very displeased with what happened with Philadelphia, and he might be displeased enough to the point where I don't want to work with him. You know, and that could be the reality. Or Cody could be, you know, sympathetic to the situation and you know, give him a chance.
Yeah.
You know, but that's nothing to discuss here. I just wanted to kind of put that out there because it's all touching on next season. But before we get into that, obviously you're clearly picking Baltimore for all those obvious reasons.
Right.
I myself will have to do pretty much the same thing as pick Baltimore for those same reasons. And I'll say it, though. Had he been 100% involved.
Oh, if he'd been still trying, I would have took Philly for sure. Because there was a point, like I said, everybody, we were all talking about it. We were all saying Philly is getting scary. You could see it. He was figuring it out. And then, like you said, he lost that game, and then something triggered the fear factor. And he's like, oh, I'm done. I can't do nothing.
His inner Joe Rogan came out.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is what it is.
You know, and like you said, because you said give it up. First year owner.
Yeah.
I hate to do it, but I have to compare it because Bo Davis is a first year owner.
Right.
He didn't quit.
Everybody reacts to everything differently. That's why we have different favorite foods and different things that we prefer in a woman. Different sports teams. Everybody reacts differently. Like I said, I'm not him. I'm not going to tell him how to think, how to do something. Whether I disagree with it or not, he's his own person. He can do what he wants with his own thoughts. But at the end of the day...
Yeah, and I'm not going to argue with that. He is his own person. But at the same time, I am totally not going to ever agree with doing that, ever.
Right.
Never.
I don't agree with it. I don't agree with it either. But like I said, I'm not in between his ears. I'm not his brain. I don't know where his mindset was. And
like I said, I will agree with all that you're saying. But personally, I would never, ever, if anybody tells me ever, we're gonna throw in a towel, I'm never gonna associate with that person. I'm sorry, it's not gonna happen. No.
Cody, I know fear factor is ludicrous now, and you bringing that up to me is just ludicrous.
Good God.
Yes, I had to say Joe Rogan because Joe Rogan was that dude.
Yep.
I still believe Joe Rogan should have been a part of the commentary team last night because I thought it'd been great. I think the perfect commentary team for the fight last night would have been Joe Rogan and Max Kellerman, but that's a whole different topic.
Oh, I agree. I agree with that one.
But that'd have been great. So we're both clearly picking Baltimore, and I went with Arizona. You went with Boston. We really didn't get much feedback in the chat room what guys were picking or whatever. So going back to the deal with Allen. Everybody's been sending me messages like crazy, wondering what's going to happen to Allen's team. Here's what's going to happen to Allen's team. I don't know. And this
honestly,
is where the league gets the voice. I'm letting them pick.
In my personal opinion, he already had signed his new co-owner. He's there. Honestly, I think the guy gets it. I think he gets it by default. I think he gets to do whatever he wants with that team now and give Allen a big middle finger and say, fuck you, watch this.
Now,
that's what I think.
Well, while that sounds all well and good, another option, and like I said, this is where I'm throwing out all these options. One, that was going to be one of my options. Two, that team gets put in with the other 8 teams. Now, Alex Dar was winning in points. All Alex got to do is reach out to me and say, "Hey, this, hey, that," and him and I can have a conversation. He'll be more than welcome to come back. You know, he's a kid, and he said, "Fuck you, asshole," more or less. And he was also in the same boat of, I wasn't being tough enough on people being stupid. Well, you went and got stupid, so
There
I'll
you
show you
go.
how tough I can be by being tough on you directly. That's all that was. It was out of spite, no question about it. But it's to prove a point. I am not being soft and bending. There's just little things I'm not going to get on an uproar over. You know, I'm not different people. You know, I've seen guys get banned from other leagues just because they had an opinion. I don't want to
Yep.
do that. You know, that's just how it is. That's why I didn't jump all over Chris Davis and ban him because he had an opinion of, oh, let me give up. That was his thoughts, his opinion. He was entitled to it. Whether I disagree with it or agree with it, it's irrelevant.
And like I said over that point, when we were talked about it on the show, I said if the owners decided he should go, I'm all right with that. If the
And
owners said,
I did have two owners ask me, can we get rid of him? That was it. Two. There's seven owners that could have spoke out. Just two talked.
And then if, like I said, and if the owners would have said no, it was rookie mistake, things happen, let him stay, I'd have been all right with that too.
Mm-hmm.
I was cool either way. Whatever the other owners wanted, I was all right with. So,
and that's why I sat there and I looked at it and it was just like, well, and like I said, him and I can have a conversation. Things can be worked out and whatever. So, you know, it is what it is. So to get back to what I was saying, as far as that team, and this is going to pretty much go up for a vote, and it's going to be a league vote, and they're going to get to decide how this works. And so I'm going to mention it here, and then I'll probably put this up for a vote here later. So Matthew Soper, he was, I'm looking here, 9, 10, 11, 12. He was 16th right now in owner points. A little higher, actually. A little higher. 13th. I don't have it in order. I just had to put it in order. So he was currently 13th in points as far as getting his quote-unquote own team. He's still new to the league. You got guys like Cody who've been here from the jump. Mighty been from jump. Chisholm, Thomas Goodhart, Maurice Spurgeon, the Capones, Marcus, DW, Charlie Monk, Macho Fog, Mario Savage, Jimmy Cash. All these guys have more points than him, and not all of them are going to get a team. And most of the reason is because they didn't have enough points, or they're not sitting in a position right now where they were a coach or an owner / co with a current team. So because Matthew Soper was put in such a position, does he deserve such the opportunity? Somebody might say yeah. Somebody might say no. So based on what Ed said, there's going to be a poll posted, and these will be the options for guys to post. So think about these things until I get the poll up. And it's going to be Matthew takes over the team.
that's my vote.
He gets the rights to the team. Number 2, that team becomes vacant, goes into the ownership pool. Okay? It goes into the ownership pool, which means the top 8 guys, they then have 2 options. When I go to the first guy in points. Now, right now, like I said, Alex Dar's still first in points. I didn't ban him from this league. He comes back, I can go, hey, Alex, you can have a brand new team or you may inherit the pack. And then, of course, he can rename them and do whatever he wants. But he would inherit that roster that's under contract. If he says, I want a new team, okay, we go to the next guy in line. Hey, do you want this team or do you want your own? Let's just assume all 8 guys say, I want to make my own. I will go to the 9th guy in points and say, hey, this team's yours if you want it. If he doesn't want it, I go to the 10th guy in points. And I will keep going down in points till someone says, yeah, I will take over the pack. That's how that works. Option number 3 is we fold the pack shop up completely. It no longer exists. Their entire roster goes into the free agent pool, and 9 guys will get a team instead of 8. Those will end up being the 3 options because to me, it's the only other choice. That's the only choices. Unless somebody can say, hey, this is a choice you might want to come up with. This is an option you might want to consider. If somebody can come up with something to throw in there, I'm all ears. But I'm down for those 3 options, and I believe the league as a whole should make that decision. Have any other suggestions? I know that's the one you quote unquote are liking, but what do you think about any other options?
I think you covered them all. I think all of them that you put on there is pretty good. I can't really think of anything else. But like I said, my personal opinion, I think he deserves it. I think he got pulled in by somebody who's not all there, and because of it, he's not only screwed the league, he screwed that guy. It's I don't know.
And then here's the other thing. Would Matt even want the team? Now, I know he was here in the chat. I haven't seen or heard from him in quite some time. I'm scrolling up now to see if I can see what the timestamp was on his comment, and I can't see it. I used to be able to tell. But
from me talking to him, I think he would take the team but I think he wants to rename it, do whatever, and then whatever he wants to do with that roster, he wants to do with the roster.
Yeah. Well, I can say this. Let me open it up so I can give it that direct information. If he were to take over the team, or whoever takes over this team, if the team stays, they would have Malcolm Smith, Dwayne Ritter, Joe Starr, Ernie Clapper, Gary Smith, Ed Ritter, Joe Burns, Bad Leroy Brown, Michael Stonebreaker, and Josh Smith all leaving the team. Therefore, Isaac Fulmer, Lucas Fulmer, J.D. Lawson, which is Allen's guy, Slinky Watts, are all currently under contract. Like you said, you thought maybe Allen could get the Fulmer brothers to follow him out. Let's just say that's true.
Yeah.
That means J.D. Lawson and the Fulmer brothers would be off the team. That means the only person they would have returning is tight end Slinky Watts. Now, because of the circumstances, I think it would only be fair to Slinky to say, hey, do you want to leave the team or not? Talk to the current owner, and then you guys can come to an agreement. I think Slinky should be given that opportunity.
I agree.
If that's what happens. So basically, by looking at it, if the Fulmer brothers are following him out, if the Fulmer brothers are not following him out, then they inherit the Fulmer brothers as well. So I mean, they would get that as well. And for those of you who are unaware of the quote unquote positions of the Fulmer brothers when it comes to the pack, Isaac Fulmer's the silver wide receiver who actually has played very good all season, like phenomenally good, and Lucas Fulmer's the strong safety. So I think both players have played very, very well, and they'd be losing two of their silvers. That's why I make the statement of it could almost become a ninth expansion team kind of sort, and this team get completely eliminated off the freaking face of the earth. But at the same time, I'd rather keep the team and have their record continued with the team as an overall record through its history, because I just would love to have the current 8 teams remain. So, I'm just out there. Now, Cody mentions here in the chat he agrees with what you had stated. Let Matt take it over. So I'll put this poll up. I'm not worried about it right now because we got the playoffs to worry about. I'll be working on all the ideas, details, particulars, giving guys the opportunity to come up with more opinions on how this team can be dressed. Thanks, James. Appreciate it. James Skaggs, ladies and gentlemen, says he's a big fan, been watching all year, first time able to comment. I like Boston over Arizona as well, that hot team going into the playoffs. And they're probably, without doubt, outside of Arizona being 13-1, clearly Boston's the hottest team. So I think we have two of the hottest teams playing each other. Can't take nothing away from Baltimore.
And to be honest, did anybody ever think we'd be saying that right now?
No.
Because I could tell you I didn't.
How many weeks you want to go back? How many weeks you want to go back in discussion? And I can tell you what.
Go back as far as you want. Go back as far as you want.
I mean, if you want to go back, we can go back 2 weeks. If you want to go back 2 weeks, I thought for sure our playoffs were going to be Arizona, Baltimore, Philadelphia, Tokyo.
Mm-hmm.
I firmly believe that. When you want to go back about 5 weeks, Arizona and Baltimore have always been locks in my head since about week 4 or 5. I just thought those two teams were the teams that beat.
Right.
Early in the season, I thought New York might have been the team that was going to make the playoffs. New York ended up finishing 8th just because their offense was so deadly. And then once they made some changes to try to get away from all the interceptions, they could never get it back.
Yep.
They just never got it back. And it was like, wow. Tampa Bay never crossed my mind as a playoff team. Boston never crossed my eyes in my mind as a playoff team. Carolina had crossed my mind as a possibility to make the playoffs. If somebody else was going to get in out of Arizona, Baltimore, Philadelphia, and Tokyo, Carolina was the team I thought of first.
Mm-hmm.
So Boston getting in there, backdooring their way in more or less by winning down the stretch when other teams, all they had to do was handle their business and they would got in. Didn't do it.
And honestly, because you just said backdoor, I wouldn't say they were backdooring. They did what they took care of business.
Right. The reason why I say they backdoored it is while they did what they needed to do, if other teams would have done the same thing, Boston's not in that spot. Other teams failing not to do their job help them get in. But I don't want to discredit Boston's accomplishment either, right, because obviously they had to do what they had to do to get there. I just want to make sure guys are aware. Just because Boston won didn't mean they were making the playoffs. They did need a bunch of help, and somehow it all fell into place for them. I'm still totally amazed and baffled when it comes to Boston, how everything just fell right into place for them. They lucky stars, man. Maybe that's what those stars are on the IFL logo. They're lucky stars. We do have 5 of them. There's 5 stars on that logo. I always was thinking about making it 8 because of the original 8 teams, but we went with 5 because we are a 5-star product. That was the reasoning behind it. But 5 stars, 5 lucky stars, their 5th win would be a win over Arizona. Maybe that's what that means. Maybe that's the IFL logo coming full circle.
Didn't think about it that way. That's pretty interesting. Now that you say that. Honestly, though, if because everybody's gonna say if, and I'm saying when Boston beats Arizona.
Are you sure you're not being biased towards Boston since you will be working for them next season?
Oh, as far as I'm concerned, I'm now the co-owner now.
You've already put yourself in that spot, have you?
I'm the co-owner now. Yep, I am now part owner of that team. I'm going to root for them. I still think yep. So
I want to point this out to everybody.
It's just hard to. I mean, how can you not say, "Holy crap, they have a hell of a shot" after what they've done?
Right. And I want to point this out so people know and they're fully aware of the situation, because some people might jump and say, "Oh crap, that's not good." Whatever. Ed was the defensive coordinator for the Carolina Pack when their season came to an end. Allen removed him from the position. Ed was already going to become the co-owner of Boston. Even though Ed's sitting here telling us he's the co-owner now, that's just how he feels. Ed still has nothing to do with this team strategy-wise yet.
No, I don't have nothing yet. Nope, that's still all theirs.
Yes.
But in my heart, I'm the co-owner. So
I just wanted to put that out there so guys are aware, because we've seen it over in the SFL where Allen got banned, or not banned, removed from Houston, and then turn around and secretly started helping out Carolina. And it didn't go over too well. So I just want to make sure guys are aware that's not happening here.
No, I'm not going to do that. No, I have nothing to do with it. I'm going to root for them like crazy. Whenever their season finally comes to an end, that's when I get to go to work.
Yes, so. James Skaggs said Stallions gradually improved over the season. Mr. Diamond, I believe, great job, sir. Yes, Jack Diamond is the owner.
Yes, he did a good job, too.
And speaking of Jack Diamond, this is something I wanted to throw out from that game. I found it interesting. 2 guys in the Stallions outlaw game each had 2 interceptions. Happened to be Jack Diamond and Stevie T. Diggs, the 2 owners. I don't know why I found that interesting. I just thought it was funny that the 2 owners of those teams, each their individual players, both playing the same positions, ended up with 2 interceptions each in that game. Might be a pointless stat and statistic to throw out there. I just thought it was something neat. And I realized we've been on the air 17 minutes shy of 2 hours.
Yeah.
So, and then obviously we plan on putting together another couple of shows this week. At least one for sure is going to come in, and that's where we're going to have a lot of the stats and statistics for these.
Well, you and I both talked before we went on air. We knew it was going to be kind of long due to all the, we want to clear the air, get all the crap out of the way, and move on and get ready for,
Yeah.
And so I'm going to say that real quick before we get. I know we've been saying all year long that we didn't matter if you were at the game, at least try to get there. I'm going to change my mind just a little bit on this and change my position just a little bit. These are the playoffs. We have how many people? I think you guys should be there for the playoffs. This is the first season. It's our playoffs. I mean, come on. Really?
Yeah. Tell your friends, tell your buddies, share it. That's the one thing I am a little frustrated with. I put it on Facebook and it might get a share or two. Put it on Twitter, it might get a share or two. We got over 80-some guys. You would think we could at least get 20% in sharing.
Well, yeah, I don't share anything because I don't get on Facebook. I don't get on. I got off all social media. I just can't take it anymore.
You act like you're a sports athlete. I had to get off social media.
I got rid of everything. The only thing I do have Facebook, but I'm only on there here and there. Just, if a family member or something says, hey, I did it, go look at this. Other than that, I don't get on it. And I don't know. Maybe I'm just too old.
Didn't you know that's how people communicate with each other now? They don't call each other. We don't hang out. We leave text messages.
Well, see, that's one of my things. I don't like people.
He doesn't like people. He said he doesn't like people, yet he's part of an 80+ community. That's great.
Hey, I like this community. I do. But, I don't, about the only thing I like is when I go to sporting events. I like those kind of people, I'll go to those all day long. But other things, I just,
Oh, man.
And James Skaggs just says, Ed, if Boston beats Arizona, do you think they can win it all? Hell yeah.
Wow. That's wow. You're that confident on this team right now.
Yes.
Are you sure that's not your heart talking?
It might be a little bit of both, but you know what? I don't care.
I mean, all right. I'm going to put you on the spot since that was a good question by James Skaggs. I want you to right now put all 4 teams in order that you think has the best chance of being champion to the least opportunity.
It's easy.
Uh-huh.
It's real easy for me. Because I'm going to say it. Because I'm going with the team that's on a roll. Because you have to. Boston, Arizona, Baltimore, Philly.
Well, you said you want to go with the team that's on a roll. Okay? You want to go with a team that's on a roll. Let's take a look at this. Okay?
I know. Here's where you go and you tell me Arizona's been on a roll all year long.
No, I'm going to ignore Arizona. I'm going to totally ignore Arizona. I'm taking Arizona completely out of my mouth. Okay? I'm just going to say.
I'm sorry.
Week 4 was a loss.
Baltimore has done what they have done, yes.
Right.
But I just don't. They're just not on the same roll as Boston. They're just not.
I'm just saying, do the math. Week 4 they lost. Week 5 they lost. Week 6 they lost. That gave Baltimore 3 straight losses. Week 4, 5, and 6. And week 7, Baltimore won. And week 8, Baltimore won. And week 9, Baltimore won. And week 10, Baltimore won. I believe it was week 10. No, wait. No, Baltimore lost in week 10. That's right. Baltimore lost in week 10. So that's where they won. That's okay. I'm sorry. Yeah, they did win in week 10. That was Boston's last loss. Boston's last loss was to Baltimore. And Baltimore's last loss was in week 12. So Baltimore lost those 3 games in a row and have lost 1 since. That's just, to me, it's just as good as a roll. And then, like I said, you mentioned Arizona.
No, I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that because everybody was probably picking Baltimore in every one of those games. Everybody knew Baltimore should win all those games. Nobody picks Boston. So I think what Boston's doing is better than what Baltimore's doing.
Well, speaking of picking, we actually have the pick'em is up to 9 votes already on each game. Removing my initial emoji vote, it is currently 6-1 in favor of Arizona, and it is 7-0 in favor of Baltimore.
And then you can see right there in the chat, James agreed with me. He says Philly, Baltimore, Arizona, Boston, 4-1.
So it's gonna be
like
fun.
I said, part of it is my heart because as far as I'm concerned, I am now that I co-own that team.
Right.
I won't have nothing to do with it till the season's over, but I am the co-owner of that team.
And I know Dwayne's over there getting mad at somebody, and I know you about ready.
Him and Drew are fighting again, just like always.
Yeah, typical with mine.
Fighting over that PlayStation or over whatever else. So I apologize if you guys got to hear that again, but
soon it might be over women.
God, I'm not ready for that.
Oh hell. Well, like I said, we've covered a lot. I know we're going to get into some more stuff this week, so we can get into that. This way I can let you do what you got to do. The only thing I want to throw out real quick is all the talk of the fight last night. I just have to throw this out here, totally off topic. People all
go off topic for a minute.
All rah for Floyd Mayweather going to 50-0. But I made this statement. I posted this statement on our Slack today, and I said the following. Sure, Floyd won, but he shouldn't be proud of the fight. Conor is an MMA fighter, and he clearly dominated most of the early fight. Conor easily won rounds 1 through 4. Rounds 5 through 9, they did go back and forth. And in there, I gave Conor some of those rounds. At the time of the stoppage in round 10, I had Conor leading. I had Conor leading to the point that if he won one more round of the final 3, he'd have won a decision on my book. He'd have had 7 rounds. I had 7 people over at my house last night, and we all agree with that statement. All Floyd fans can keep writing is they're writing Conor off and jumping on the 50-0. No respect given to Conor. End of the day, Floyd got the W in the win column, sure, but Conor won. Conor, with 0 boxing fights, took what many people call the best fighter ever to the brink. The one thing I'm going to give Floyd is he left that bike and AKA the money persona at home, and he brought back Pretty Boy Floyd Mayweather when he actually stood in the ring and fought. And Floyd fought last night, and for that, I give him a lot of credit and respect. He didn't back down. He didn't run. He didn't get on the bike. He fought his ass off. So I just had to throw that out there.
Right. Cody posted fantasy football. I don't think we mentioned anything about the fantasy football.
Yes, the fantasy football. I ended up getting strangleholded into work tonight. Okay, I just got silent for a minute. Sorry, guys. Just got a text message. It's not cool. I'll touch on it here in a second. I'm sure he's not going to mind. But yeah, I got strangleholded into getting into work tonight, so our fantasy draft might get pushed off till next Sunday. Since I got to go to work, and doing drafts during the week kind of sucks. And Friday is high school football night, and most people want to go check out games. Saturday's our playoffs, so our draft's probably going to get pushed to next Sunday. So I hope everybody's cool with that. I got to get in there and make that adjustment on the thing, which sucks. I was hoping to do that draft tonight, but it is what it is. Now to touch on the text message I just got a message from Kyle Walsh. He said, "Hey man, just want to let you know my mom fought the good fight, but around 1:30 this afternoon she passed away." So, yeah, that's fucking with me.
Oh man, that sucks. Because we know what he's been, all stuff he's been dealing with, and everything she's been dealing with. That's a damn shame. Yeah, thoughts and prayers to him and his family. Man.
Yeah, I don't want to end this on a somber note like that, but we love you, Kyle. Thoughts and prayers are with you, buddy.
Yeah. Yeah, we're here for you, bud, if you need us.
All right. Well, we're going to end this one and look for the next podcast. Like I said, we're going to do another one later this week. So, all's well in the world.
I can tell you what. I know what I could be happy about. My Browns won another preseason game.
Stop it. This is preseason. Where do you trade Roethlisberger to the Colts?
I don't care, man. You mean Osweiler? Not Roethlisberger.
What did I say?
You said Roethlisberger. I don't know how we're going to trade a Pittsburgh quarterback.
I'm just
Colts,
so
we can figure that out.
Yeah. Kyle's message got me all fucked up because, she battled cancer. That's what took my dad. So Yeah, it's hitting me. Shit.
But yeah, hey, I'm allowed to be happy. You know, I've been a Browns fan since I was how little. So it's time that we start doing something, even if it is preseason. Damn it. I just feel it's got to be our turn, isn't it? I mean, haven't we been through enough? Yes, no, maybe. Somebody in the chat answer me, damn it. Alrighty.
Yeah.
All right, I think we can put this one to bed. What do you think?
Yes, sir.
I think we covered a lot of stuff. I think a lot of people's, unfortunately, eyes had to be open over, you know, a certain person, which, you know, it is what it is. But time to get ready for the playoffs. I can't believe it already. Our first season, and it's playoff time already. Can't believe that season went by that fast. That's just crazy.
Yeah. No question about that.
So we got, what, 3 games left, possibly 4, because if we do the All-Star game?
The only way we do the All-Star game is if I had all the stats up to date, and it's just impossible for me to get it done that quick by myself. So,
this week, you know, if I have everybody at school, I'm going to go back over everything again since, you know, I got a feeling he really did do what he said he did and didn't give you the right stats.
I don't think he did that. I think the stats are correct, and I think the only reason why he said that is because we have wasted our life going back and redoing it.
So that's all right. If I get everybody out of here this week and they all go to school, I'll start going all over everything. Got to do my honey-do list first, though. Get that done, and then I'll start working on stuff. So anybody else that can jump in and help, please hit us up on Slack and say, hey, I'll help. So we can get on, because you know, if you really want that All-Star game, we're going to need to get these stats so, you know, everybody can vote on who they think are the All-Stars.
Yep, indeed. All right. Well, I want to thank everybody who's in the chat, you know, got involved in this one today and everything else. And again, look for the next podcast to go out earlier this week. We'll have a little vote on what's going on with Carolina. Fantasy draft's going to be postponed to next Sunday. So a lot of things going on. Playoffs will take place this Saturday. I'm going to get together with Ed probably sometime today or tomorrow to finalize the actual time frame when we think might be best to do the games. Again, I'm thinking the early game might be 12-1 on Saturday, and the later game be around 3 or 4. I'm thinking that might be the most ideal. So for our schedules, especially my own, since I'm the one running the games. So that being said, again, appreciate all the love today and all the support. Again, thoughts and prayers go out to Kyle Walsh and his family. May his mother rest in peace. So for Ed, Doug, we'll catch you down the road. Later.
All right, later.